Welcome, everyone. Exciting webinar and video replay we have today. I'll play your host, John Randall, your regular bat time every month, your regular bat channel for these. This is one of my favorite topics. We've got a great quarter going about client acquisition marketing, and we've talked a lot about how target marketing is the most effective and efficient method to get big results. Some people call it niche or niche marketing, which is really what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to learn from some of the best. We got some great guests on here that are going to really take us through what's working for them in their niche, how they go deeper, and all the things that they do around it. So it kind of started here. They've gone deeper. They do events around this. So we're going to really extract for them what's working. And then towards the end there, Brandon's going to take us through an implementation plan, what you can do in your practice to narrow this down to start getting results. So get ready. It's going to be a bazooka of lots of good information. So get your pens ready. There's going to be a video replay. So don't worry if you didn't catch it all, you can watch a replay. You know, most of you are watching the replay, but those of you that are lucky enough to be on live, you can post questions in the chat. So go ahead and just any questions that you have as we go, feel free to type them there. We'll keep an eye on them and we'll answer as we go. So, you know, when it comes to this, niche marketing, sometimes advisors stumble upon one. They realize, oh my gosh, I got two clients working at the same place. Maybe I could work with more clients at this place. Some of it's regional where they live. Sometimes it's just, dependent on clients that they have that kind of starts this and spawns a niche. So sometimes advisors say, well, I don't have one, but you probably do, even if it's just one client. And if you're really good at that one client and you become the expert at that one client, it's easier to become known to other people just like them. And that's why it's such an easy and effective method to acquire new people is you're not trying to get anybody, you're trying to get a small group. You're getting known with a small group. So the folks over at Wilson Wealth have done a phenomenal job with this. I'm going to spotlight Dave. So Dave took over the practice of one of our stars, Trevor Shakiba. Dave is a growth machine. He's chosen to do the 10X growth program in like 2 years instead of 10, like most advisors. So he's absolutely on fire on like everything that you can do, doing more with clients, bringing in lots of new clients, lots of net flows, mergers and acquisitions. He's got it cranking on all cylinders. So Dave Wilson, thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, John.
So let's hear from the stars here. We got Dave Wilson. I introduce Drew Watson or Drew Powers, who's an awesome advisor with Drew. I've had the privilege of working with both these guys for a long time, and they're very good at this. So Dave, let's just start at a high level here. What is been the most effective niche for you, and then let's start to narrow down to how you're working and what you're doing about it.
Yeah, specifically when it revolves around a practice that you acquire, the key was, when we acquire a practice and merge with the Shakiba group, Drew Powers, who's on the call here, was a part of that group. One of the keys was, hey, whatever successes they have and whatever niches they have, don't let them dry on the vine. Don't cut them off. Continue to build on those niches. So what made them successful was that they had a great niche with the oil and gas industry. That's prevalent in our area, in the Houston area. I had clients in those markets as well, and Trevor had a very good in to develop more niche marketing with them. So we've taken the same activities and events, continue them. Hopefully the clients have seen them. We've even tried to make them better, right? And also add in clients that we had that fit that niche as well to kind of volume it up some, right? So I guess what I'm saying is when there's good niche marketing events out there from other practices that you acquire, keep it going. Bring some enthusiasm more to it in your transition. So really in that oil and gas business, what we've done is there's been an event that we focus on each year. There's a couple events, but this one is just a real social event. It's an easy one to bring friends with. I think that's always the key when you're doing events. What's a great, easy event to invite friends to, right? Because that's really who you're trying to get to, honestly. You're not trying to just blow money on current clients all the time. You're trying to bring in new people. So this one had a good appetite for that. And I think we, try to continue to grow it and make it successful, from year to year.
So let's hear a little bit from Drew also. I'm going to spotlight Drew. So as Dave mentioned, Drew worked with Trevor for a long time. They're actually brothers-in-law. They're married to sisters. And Drew does a lot of business. His goal this year is cross 2 million in GDC. That's more than a lot of people, listening in do. Drew's one of those advisors that can bring in 8 figures in net flows and new assets each year, which is really exciting. So there's a lot to learn from Drew. And what I like about Drew is Dave mentioned, he's brought a lot of the fundamentals from Trevor Shkiba. He's been an awesome executor at those, and he's really, taken this niche and really worked it. So what's neat about this niche, Drew, it's not just, the oil and gas industry, but you've even had like a lot of success with like, a particular company, a particular plant too. So it's kind of gone from, hey, this is a big industry here, and really going down. So over the years, with Trevor, with Dave, tell us about how just narrowing made it helpful to find other people at that plant.
Yeah, so it all started with an acquisition of one of those oil and gas plants. And we would literally go to a hole in the wall barbecue joint and meet with, we had 2 or 3 clients in there that we knew of, and they knew other people. We would invite those people to bring their friends and coworkers going through this acquisition and this change of their work, just to have barbecue and drink some beers with. And that particular event started out on a weekly and monthly basis as that transition was happening. And as we started to get more and more clients, we just started to do like a big annual event. We call it Beer, Bugs. And at the time it was barbecue, but now we've morphed to Beer, Bugs, and Burgers, because our clients are blue collar. They work hard. They like beer. They like eating good food. They like crawfish. So we give them what they want. And we do it in an atmosphere where it's very, very easy to bring a friend, bring a coworker. And we have literally grown our practice in that particular niche tremendously, just on offering them a good time with good drinks with their friends and an advisor. And we've met a ton that way.
Yeah, it's so great to listen to that niche. And by the way, this approach that year, it brought in over 40 million in new assets that year, just by doing what they want. So it was a good insight that, hey, these people don't want, the stuffy, fancy steakhouse that John Randall might be really into. These people are just they want to go to the barbecue place and drink a beer. It's real simple. So it was great, tuning in to them. What are their needs? What do they want? So sometimes practices kind of, push what they think, they want, or, their version of it. But, to listen to them and say, hey, doing a seminar or a fancy steakhouse is not their style. It's very simple. It's barbecue place. It's beers. It's very, very easy. So so listening to them in evolving this event, tell us a little bit more about the Beer, Bugs, and Barbecue, the Beer, Bugs, and Burger that's evolved to, Dave. Tell us about this event and how it's evolved over the years, and really it's become like a reunion almost of retirees at this place. It's gone much bigger than just getting clients together. It's really got quite big. So tell us about doing events in this niche and how it's really led to getting other people through these events.
Am I still spotlighted, Dave?
Yep.
Either of you.
I see Drew still spotlighted.
Okay. Well, either way, the event has morphed into a weekly, monthly gathering of 5 or 6. And every year now we have 75, 80, 90 people RSVPing. And I'll let Dave talk about the numbers for this year's event. He came in my office and told me the numbers, and I was shocked in a great way. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, it's, they talk about it. People RSVP for this thing quickly. You send out an invite for events. Sometimes you get no responses. You're like dragging people to come spend money on them. I mean, sometimes it's like, how come I can't get people to come, and I'm spending $100 on a meal and some booze for them? What's wrong here? So the key was, these guys love crawfish, hanging out. This is a very local place that does it very well. And we had RSVPs the first week, went crazy. So the event's next week. As of right now, I just checked today, we have 89 total people RSVP'd, 45 clients, 44 guests. That's awesome numbers. That's better than I think I've seen last couple of years. So, this year we did a little something different. We wanted to amp up our guests, so we're encouraging them to bring guests a little bit more forwardly by saying that they're what's the compliant word, Drew? How do we do this under
Door
compliance?
prize? Door
I don't think
prize?
door prize, or we're doing some giveaways just for attending something like this. So we can talk offline about that if you want to, but it's maybe it's having an effect. Regardless, 45 clients, 44 guests. I think we'd all say that's going to be a good event there, right? So
Really massive. So it just shows the power in, this isn't the first year. It's really working this niche year after year, going deeper in this event, evolving. Now it's like these guys are on the other side of the mountain where it's like easy. It's easier and easier to get known and to track other people, and it's more new people as they go. So it's a wonderful approach. It really, really is. So, when we talk about niches, I mean, some practices just knock it out of the park with one big one. Sometimes practices or advisors might have two, or we really say a maximum of three niches is probably the max an advisor can take on. So, you both work this one pretty heavily. Are there some other niches that you guys have on the side of this? Let's start with you, Dave. What are some others that, outside of this big one that you work?
Yeah, I think an easy one that a lot of advisors can relate to is, clients at golf. We have clients at golf. I've always told the advisors in the practice, hey, do things that you enjoy with people that enjoy that as well. So a niche may not always be, a company. It can be an activity, right? So Drew loves to golf. He's great at it. I'll never beat him. But, one of the things about that is that Drew in his role, in the practice, he can use that marketing tool to golf with others, and he's used it quite successfully to where he can tell you he's got a lot of golfers in his book that were acquired through this method. So, some advisors will do the golf tournament. This year alone, we've changed it to where we're not doing the big golf tournament. We feel like that's been a little too redundant in terms of the people and the lack of real quality contact. This year, I think we changed it up to be mini scrambles. So, we've got 7 advisors on the team. I said, hey, each advisor go make a foursome. And so instead of having limited time with, all your clients that come with their guests, we're each playing with a foursome. We just had it a couple of weeks ago, and I felt there was a much deeper connection with those people than before. So it was still fun. We had 7 foursomes, 6 or 7 foursomes. So we had activity. It was best ball scramble. But I'll let Drew talk about some of the historicals here with this. But it's been something that you enjoy with people that you have fun with, and it's easy to say to one client, "Hey, let's go play some golf with 2 other guests of yours." It's usually a 2-to-1 ratio to where 1 client, 2 guests. That's a foursome with you, and you don't even have to be the best golfer. We had 3 of our advisors. Golf is not their natural thing to do, and they still had a lot of fun and had the contacts out there with it. So, Drew, what do you think about that?
I mean, that I found early success in that because it was something that I enjoyed, and it's something that a lot of my clients enjoyed. And so, like David said, I would invite one client and I would ask that client to bring 2 coworkers. And so you get to spend, 3 to 5 hours, depending on, how long you're out there at the course, with 2 strangers and a client whom you like. Most of the time you invite the people who you like as well, and they bring people just like them. And so it's very easy to make deep connections with 2 individuals over the course of a few hours. And so I built my practice around that very early on. And so now Dave's talking about having mini scrambles. I'm actually fortunate enough to have a book of business now where I can run my own golf scramble, and I believe I can fill 18 foursomes with, 20, 25 clients, each bringing 2 to 3 guests apiece. And so I'll sit on tee box number 1 and meet and greet all these people as they come through, and all the guests, and we'll do a lunch after, and get to know some people and meet them that way. And I mean, like you said, corporations, workplaces, activities, what do your people like, and live there?
Excellent advice. It really is about what the intersection is, what they like and what you like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big, and it could be anything. It could be golf, as I mentioned. It could be wine. It could be going to '80s rock concerts. whatever it might be. What is nice, I think a good learning here is that when you have something that, like a golf, it's typically a foursome. A lot of course they might throw in two random people if it's only two people playing. So it's kind of nice to have a foursome. If you had 4 concert tickets, you could say to a client, hey, here's 3 tickets, come along and bring 2 people. You can really kind of facilitate the, I've got this many spots and we love to just hang out and do this fun thing we all enjoy. When it's something fun, it's really easy. There's very low barrier, right? They're not coming to like a business presentation. It's pretty relaxed. So if you're going to something they have going on, it makes it easy. Going back to the original example Drew talked about, with the plant workers going to the barbecue place to drink beer, like they were already going there, like they go there, so they just went to where they were. So you could go to a golf course where they are. You could go to an activity that you enjoy where they are. It makes it really easy. If you put on something that's really neat that someone else doesn't have access to, it's a way to work that niche. And seriously, it can start with one client who likes something that you like, and you go deeper, you find other people like you that like it. Yes, workplace examples are one of the most common, and you saw how that's kind of taken off, but they're taking it to a whole nother level. And really, the deeper you go, which is what Brandon's going to cover, that's where you can get really intersect. That someone that works here, that likes golf, that lives in this place, that has some other specifics. That's where it's like really easy to have a very narrow focus, find other people like them. And again, it goes back to getting known with these people easier, right? With less people, it's easier to get known. It's easier to find them as opposed to trying to get anybody. So really great insights there from Drew and Dave. I'll just throw out one other question here, as you deepen this and you've gone deeper. So let's hear about any other niches that you're working here. Like I know, Drew, you got some pilots. I mean, there's some interesting, cross sections here of this activities. What's maybe some others that are on your radar that the other advisors could learn from here?
Well, I know that one of our coworkers, Kyle, has also developed kind of a niche that he's working on, and that's he just goes to the local cigar lounge and finds people who like to just sit down, relax, and smoke cigars. And he goes out there and invites a client, and they bring 2 or 3 friends, and it's more of an intimate gathering where you can really get to know people a little bit better on an individual basis because it's more of a smaller thing. But he's doing that once a month. And I think that's a great idea. And some people, happy hours, that's easy, very low barrier, super fun. Everybody enjoys that. Go find a fun place that has, cornhole or darts or whatever, where you can just drink beers and talk and, just disarm them.
Yeah, and the cigar bar thing that Kyle's doing, it's very low cost. He buys 1 bottle of scotch and and a cigar for everyone. I mean, we're talking about like under $100 probably for the entire event for a small group of 6 to 8 people. So doesn't have to be a high cost thing if you can find something like that.
Great insights. This is absolute gold. Really, really great learning here. So lots of info I think to take away and copy and paste here. Of course, these are some all-stars who are certainly pretty far down the path, which is pretty cool. So to see them really develop over the years has been fantastic. And just remember that they climbed the hill of figuring this out, and they're on like the downhill slope. So you're seeing the after effect of really what this can be, where it's like really easy to pick up a lot of new people. So let's hear from Brandon on how to get to that point, how to get it started, how to kind of take even oh my gosh, I got one client that does this, narrow deeper and really turn this into some traction. So take us through that, Brandon. What can advisors do to get to the level that Dave and Drew are?
Yeah, so thanks, John. There's really 3 steps to developing a strong niche market. The first one, identify what your target clientele is in your niche. Identify what your unique experience is that you bring to the table that makes you stand out against your competition. And then finally, what service or what are you bringing to the table from an experience standpoint around your service model that makes it different for that specific niche. So you heard Drew touch on it right away. He had it narrowed down to a plant is who his niche was. One plant. I hear all the time if I ask someone, what is your niche market? I target business owners. No, you don't. That's too broad.
Yeah.
You have to dial it in. One of the more successful advisors I ever worked with had a niche, and her specific niche was post-divorce women in their 50s within 15 miles of Boston. That's how dialed in it was, because when it gets down to that granular level, you know exactly what the needs are. You know exactly who the influencers are. So divorce lawyers in Boston, you know what the struggles are going through. You don't have to play to everyone. You play to a specific group. I mean, the idea of niche is not to eliminate, it's to get more people to say yes. And so as you think about that, starting, let's say, business owners, what kind? Are they are they dentists? Are they doctors? Are they car dealer owners? What is this specific business owner you want to work with? How big are their businesses? And then what are they trying to solve? So for example, if I was working on dentists, I have a cousin who's a dental hygienist. That would be an easy start for me. What I would do is I would identify what size dentists in what region, what area of town can I go to? And I would immediately go and start buying every book that I could find about business ownership for dentists and just start reading them. And that's going to be my unique experience. Drew and Dave had unique experience because they've worked with these people before. You may have people in your book that they all come from the same business. If you've got 3 or 4, that's your unique experience. I've dealt with this benefit plan before. So you've got to figure out what is it that makes you unique to stand out against everyone else who could be going for this kind of niche or these types of clients. So get granular on your target client, identify what's your unique experience that you bring to the table that can identify their problem before they know they have it and already have the solution planned out. That is part of the pitch. You already know the answer to a question they didn't even know they had yet. And then finally, what these guys do amazingly with golf, with burgers, bugs, beers, have something special. An advisor I know just outside of New Orleans, he's setting up a fishing charter. And he's got some folks that enjoy fishing. They don't have a boat. So he said, great, I'll pay for a charter. You bring 2 friends. That's your ticket. And that's it. He's just going to run that once a week. Guy loves to fish. Take more people out fishing just nonstop. Gets 2 clients every time. Just like golf, an easy foursome. Getting in there. And what else can you do on a boat for 4 hours than chit chat and get to know each other? It's an easy setup. So whatever that is for you, you know, maybe it doesn't have to be, of course, golf or an event or fishing. You know, maybe there's a group of people that just want to get together and, you know, book clubs. There's a lot of stuff, but make it exclusive to your niche. If you can target those 3 areas and refine, get your unique experience and be able to talk about, here's what I bring to the table. Your next step is to just go to the people you already know who are in that specific group, interview them, bring some questions to the table to say, here's what I'd love your advice on this. Love to take you to lunch just to pick your brain. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's my plan. Here's what I want to do. What do you think? Do you think your colleagues would want in on this? Would they be interested? Start doing your research with the people you already know and start with them. Hey, great, if you think they'd like this, I'd love to take you out for my first event. And that can just start the snowball rolling and start that spreading the word around that you are now in this market doing this for the people that they know that's just like them. And that, I know we're bumping up, but that's how you get started. So identify your granular clientele. What is your unique experience? And what are you going to bring to the service model that's going to be different for them? And that's how you get started. Those 3 can help you get there.
Awesome insights. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, one piece that Brandon said, just make sure you guys know when we found that niche that Drew and Trevor had first started with that company, you know, they did become experts in that plan. They got into the plan, they knew the stuff. So, you know, if you do a company niche, or, you know, people that work at a company, I mean, get really fluent with their options, their benefits, their pension features, because I mean, that really had an impact when meeting with these prospective clients. You know, I mean, you knew exactly what to say and what their benefits were. They felt that confidence. They knew that you were an expert at their benefits. So they're coming to you, right? So that's part of it.
Great ones, great one. It's really, you know, you've got to put yourselves in their shoes. You've got to listen to them. You've got to understand, you know, where they're coming from. Let them be your guides. You know, your work with these clients, what their needs are, what things they're valuing from the work with you. I mean, that's your ticket to the next person that's just like them. So always be listening, always asking them, hey, what other things do you need help with? And you'll see them crystal clear, and you'll see that, gosh, there's other people that we could help like this, and we're really good at helping this one person. So it's actually extremely efficient for a practice to help people in a niche, because, you know, a lot of them are kind of similar. So it's really easy to put on events for them. It's really easy if it is a niche, someone working at the same place or in the same kind of industry, you know what their needs are. And if we go back to a universal Ritz-Carlton learning, to anticipate the needs of the ladies and gentlemen staying there, or the customers, to anticipate the needs of these people. We've got one group that works with specific executives in the tech sector, and they know when they have their like stocks vest, and they have options, and they have bonuses, they have all this stuff, and they need help with it. So they prepare them for it. They said, hey, we know this is coming. This is what you should do. This is there. And it makes something really complex really easy. And it's the number one referral point to get to the next person. Like, gosh, my friend, the executive, they're struggling with this. They don't know what to do. You know, their CPA doesn't know what to do, and they need someone like you to be the quarterback to help them through these tough decisions. So listen to them. Wonderful advice from Dave, from Drew, from Brandon. And look, everyone's probably a different step on the timeline from figuring out, hey, what might my niche be, and how can I go deeper with one client, to where you see, you know, Dave and Drew are, where it's getting kind of easy. They're on the downhill slope where, you know, they're getting as many prospects as you know, clients that are coming to events, and they're big events too. And it's getting real easy to get a whole lot of people. And look, it'll only get easier and easier, bigger and bigger for Dave and Drew, which is a great problem to have. Then you have other problems like needing more advisors on the team to help service clients, which is a big one. So lots of great stuff today. You know, feel free to go back on the replay. We have a workbook on this, on niche marketing. If you want to go a little bit further, we have a workbook on actually events and kind of tailoring to people's likes, and how to go to a little bit deeper there if that's one of your niches. But lots of great value today. This is certainly a great one. So Dave and Drew, you're a privilege to work with. Thank you for being on today and sharing knowledge with everyone. Brandon, you're an all-star. Thanks for sharing knowledge. Thanks for everyone for being on live. Thanks for everyone for listening to the replays. We look forward to helping people grow. For not working with you, we're happy to have a free coaching session with you to talk about your niches and where you can go to grow big. Everyone take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.